maybe we could bring that to thinking laterally. Elon Musk
Mhm.
just is on Twitter now. I don't know if you use Twitter.
I do, yeah.
He's someone that strikes me as a lateral thinker because
Yeah.
he's got all these different areas of skills,
Hmm.
all these businesses. I know there's people that say he's like a sham and everything, but I'm
Yeah.
speaking as an outsider. Funny enough, we're actually born in the same town.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's from Pretoria, South Africa, which is where I'm broadcasting to you from right now, which is where I was born.
Wow.
Um, just a random fact, but he's from what I've read, he has this thing called first principles thinking. He'll get things down to their most basic principles, and he'll
Hmm.
apply that in whatever business he's in. And that's like a skill set he's developed surely from the situations he's found himself in. So he can almost be put in any situation, and you don't want him to imitate other people's mindset and other people's thinking. You want him to
Yeah.
bring his general skill, um, as opposed to just getting a specialist who focuses on one thing. You want you want what's special about his general skill set, if that
Hmm.
makes sense. Um,
Yeah.
I'm curious what you think of that. Would that be lateral thinking? Is that too shallow a
I
definition? Or
I think so. I think so. Because if it comes down to breaking it down to its most basic form, when it comes to understanding and to exploring how to approach and to analyze, to model after these different things that are going on, um, I think that's lateral thinking in a lot of ways. And to be honest, I've been trying to find a good explanation for lateral thinking. And I mean, I write a whole newsletter on it as we've been discussing, but I only recently, like as in last night, came up with this. And I think that this this really gets it, is that lateral thinking is about where curiosity and creativity meet. So curiosity being about exploring something new, seeing the world different, changing that vantage point, changing that perspective, addressing it from a new standing point, a new particular angle. Whereas creativity is, about, creating something new and
Mm,
producing something new. So one is about seeing the world different. I think the other is about dreaming about the world differently, I think, in a lot of ways. And so I think that
mm,
that lateral thinking comes from being able to see those problems differently, being able to analyze it from a new perspective. And goodness knows that Elon Musk is an original thinker, to be sure. He certainly comes at these problems and looks at these problems from a new angle. And I think that the more that you allow, you train yourself to be willing to come up with these crazy ideas about how to solve one problem or another. Whether it's, it's kind of like the fact that there are new flip phones again. It's kind of like we've got these phones that fold again. It's like, oh, it's like that's a throwback, but it's new. It's new, and
yeah.
it's something that you would not have expected to come back. Although, you kind of have to wonder whenever it comes to that point, if those sorts of things come back, because everything old is new, um, and
Mm,
everything new seems to be somewhat old. But so ultimately, you see that recurrence. Um, it's interesting, and I think that when it comes to that curiosity level, I think Musk has part of it, with that first principles. I would say that also I've read his comments about, or excuse me, rather not his comments, but I believe they were recorded from a guy that worked with him at PayPal. I want to say it was. I think that's where he worked before. But basically, talking about how Elon was always doing multiple projects at once. He never had one iron in the
mm,
fire. And for somebody like me that's constantly trying to juggle all those irons, it's kind of like there's a catch-22 to it when it comes to being managing to overwhelm yourself. But I think there's a real value in not I mean, in allowing yourself to be caught up in multiple things at once to keep it fresh and keep insights coming from one direction and applying them from each direction and bringing them all together and cross pollinating, cross fertilizing, all those different things. I think there's a real value in that because you keep learning and you keep growing, and there's always something new to see and to do with it.
Yeah, that's a really great insight. You approach the situation with the mindset that you might have just applied to a completely different project, a completely different. Okay, so you've got one project that requires a specific approach and a specific mindset, and then you suddenly switch to something different, and now you need a different mindset. But it's not like you're a different person. You're applying the same ideas and the same concepts now to a different situation. You might see something that someone who's just focusing on that problem wouldn't see. I think it was Schopenhauer, the German philosopher, who was extremely cheerful. That was a joke. He was very depressing, but he had this he he had this beautiful line, and you know you got to be careful these days when you attribute a quote to someone because you really don't know anymore who said what. But let's just
Mm-hmm.
assume he said this. Um, the idea is worth it. Beautiful line. Talent hits a target no one else can hit, but genius hits a target that no one else can see.
Yes.
And that is, I think, probably the benefit of lateral thinking is that nobody else can actually see this target because they're not looking at it with the the many layered eyes that you're looking at it through.